Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is another watch me work, and being that it is the winter season, I absolutely had to do some wintry long glass nails on this beautiful client. So if you look on the pinky and the middle finger, you will see they look just like cracked ice. So I'm super excited to show you how I achieved this look. So if this is something that you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off by removing her current set. She has on a really dark black cherry in matte. In the camera here it looks more brown than it is, but it's actually one of my most favorite custom mixes that I have ever done. So I'm just going in with my cuticle nippers and I'm going to clip off the length. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you do not clip too far down and close to the hyponychium. So you can see there, I was just looking at that middle finger because we did actually reform it last time. She broke a nail, and that is a very rare occasion. This girl has never broken a nail. It's been many, many years. So I originally left that nail on because I thought, well, I just reformed it. But then I decided, because we're doing them all clear and we're just starting fresh, I ended up clipping it off so that we could just do them all anyways. So again, we really rarely start fresh with this client, but I'm going to clip off the length, and then I'm going to go in with my E-file and my 4X carbide bit, and I'm going to take down the product that is left on her nail plate just to a thin layer, and then I'm going to reform them and rebuild them. So like I mentioned, I am taking down the product to a thin layer on her nail plate, and I'm also removing any lifting issues. She did have some pocket lifting on a couple of the nails. So when you are removing lifting, you want to make sure to not cause heat spikes. So one of the things you need to do is communicate with your client and let them know that if it gets hot, for them to let you know, because quite often clients will try to tough it out and we really don't want them to do that. And the other thing is just to make sure that you're not staying in the same place for a long period of time. So if you have a lift in the center, do a little bit in the center, then maybe go back around in other areas and then come back to the center. So next I'm going to go in with my cuticle pusher on all 10 fingers, and I'm going to push back the proximal nail fold so that I can expose the cuticle. And then I'm going to go in next with my hand file, and I'm going to shape the free edge and round it off. And I'm also going to remove any little bits of color that were left on the nail, and also any little bits of lifting that I didn't get off with the E-file. So here I am going in with my cuticle bit. Now this one is called the micro taper bit from Erica's, and I purchased it at the Pink Chair. I'm fairly certain that I purchased the medium. I do believe that they also come in coarse, but I'm pretty sure that I purchased the medium set. They come in a 2-pack, and I really, really like this bit, particularly if you have someone who has really thick cuticle, or they have very hardened keratinized proximal nail fold, that very hard, thick skin that's calloused. This is really great for smoothing that out as well. So the next step is to go in with my cleansing solution, which, as you guys know, I custom mix a 50-50 mix of 99% alcohol and 100% acetone. So I'm just going in with this brush and I'm scrubbing the nail to get rid of any of the dust particles. And then I'm going to go in with my primer. So again, you guys know I've been using the Young Nails products, so I'm going in with 2 coats of their Protein Bond as my primer. Alright, so now it's time to get into the forms. So I'm using these new forms from the pink chair. They are from 2M Beauty. I quite like them actually. They are really sticky and they hold their shape really well. So I remove the center tab and I don't actually use it. A lot of times you'll see we put them underneath just to give a little bit more structure and strength, but I don't find that I have to do that with these forms. So I also custom the forms. I'm doing it off camera here, I apologize, but I kind of cut out a little notch there so that it fits more around her hyponychium and it doesn't poke and I can get under the nail better. But I also like to tip the forms down slightly when I am creating or sculpting a long stiletto nail or a long coffin nail. So as you can see, I was kind of fiddling around with the form, just trying to get it to fit perfectly, and I realized that I needed to cut a little bit more off of the little edges on her nails. So you'll see I'll go in with my cuticle nippers and I just kind of nip off the edges, and that allowed me to tip the form down just slightly so that I can get a proper fit. So one thing that I want to mention is that there is no perfect way to cut each form that will be the same for each client. So as you can see with her nails, because of the shape that I'm trying to sculpt and because of the natural shape of her natural nail, I do have to cut the edges off or the corners off of her nail in order for me to tip that form down. And ideally, it probably would have been best just to completely take all of her free edge off, whereas many other clients, I can just leave a normal free edge, put the form on, it fits perfectly, and I don't have to do anything. So every client is going to be different. Every client, you are going to have to custom the forms. There's no perfect way that I can say each client you need to leave a free edge and each client you have to clip the corners off. It's just not that way. And another thing that I will do is also when I place the form on, I will sometimes ask the client to look at it from her angle and let me know if it is straight to her, because as we know, sometimes from our angle we think that it's on straight and then to them it looks crooked, or sometimes when they tell me it looks straight, it looks totally crooked from my angle. So I always ask them, give it a check, tell me if you think it's straight before I completely pinch it and set it onto the nail. Alright guys, so now I'm going to get into sculpting the tip of this nail. So I'm going to pick up a bead of clear acrylic. I'm using the Young Nails Speed Clear, and I'm going to pat that acrylic in and basically just push it down and create a thin layer of clear. This is what we're going to be building all of our glitter and our little embellishments on top of. I wanted to have those glass nails. So if you are curious how to create a perfect bead of acrylic using the Young Nails, I would highly recommend going onto their YouTube channel. They are very informative. They have lots of educational videos. I will try to find the one that I watched on how to use their acrylic and I will link it below for you guys. But I would highly recommend watching that because every acrylic system that I have used, I have found works differently. And guys, you know that I always have to mention it when I'm doing these videos, that we have to be careful not to oversaturate the skin with the monomer. We don't want to be brushing our skin with the monomer filled brush, constantly wiping product off of the skin, or just patting all over the skin with the brush. It is not proper practice. Yes, we know that accidents happen, but we do not want to be doing this as a regular practice. Alright guys, so getting into all of the goodies that I used to create this design, I used the Young Nail Speed Clear, of course, and then I also have a custom mix that I used for the nail bed part, and that is 2 parts Cover Pink mixed with 1 part clear, so it's a semi-transparent cover blush. And then I have this Diamante glitter from Art Glitter. You guys know I've talked about it before. It does not exist anymore. You cannot get it, so I'm still looking for a perfect replacement because it is the most perfect white glitter. Then I have these Snowflake glitters here, and I purchased them from eBay, and I believe the company was called VS Nail Art, so they may actually have a website, but I will link everything below. And of course, I've got some pretty KIARA Sky glitters. This is a chunky mix. It is called number 204. I forget the name of it, but it's on the bottom there. And then that's it. So I'm going to start off by applying my custom mixed cover blush, or the semi-transparent blush color, to all 10 of the nail beds, except for the ring finger is going to be a little bit different because I am going to be creating a smile line on the ring fingers. So I am going to be applying that color obviously thicker, and I am going to be using the reverse method to create that smile line. And for the rest of the fingers, I'm going to be applying more of a thin layer, and I'm just going to slightly feather it down, but I obviously do not want to go too far down because I don't want to cover up that beautiful clear tip. So next I'm going to take that beautiful white glitter called Diamante from Art Glitter that I cannot get anymore, and I'm going to apply it into the center of that pinky nail. So you'll see I'm feathering it up towards the cuticle area and also feathering it down a little bit towards the tip of the nail. So as you could see, I applied a little bit too much, so I just kind of swiped it away because I don't want to be covering too much of that clear tip. And then I went in and dipped into my KIARA Sky, the chunkier one, and I'm also patting that on top of that Diamante glitter. And moving on to the ring finger, I went in again with that Diamante glitter and I went all around the smile line, and then I feathered it down again into the clear layer, but again not covering too much of it because we want that clear layer to show. And then I went in with my snowflake glitters. Now off camera you don't see what I'm doing, but I'm actually pinching the snowflake a little bit in the middle, so I'm giving it a bit of a bend just so that it sits not so flat on the nail. I wanted it to have a little bit of curvature so it sits nicely when I encapsulate it. So then I decided that I wanted to add another snowflake glitter to the pointer fingers. So as you can see, I gave it another little bend, and I'm just going to add a little bit of clear acrylic, and then I'm going to apply that snowflake just in the little area there, right just in between the clear and where the glitter is starting to fade down. And then I will be encapsulating all of them. Alright guys, so next I'm going in with my hand file, and this is where I do my finish filing. Now I will use my e-file on the ring finger because I built up that pink area to create the reverse smile line. It is a bit thicker, so I do go in and just debulk a little bit with my e-file, but I always do my finish filing with my hand files because generally I find that the e-file actually does bother my carpal tunnel a lot more than hand filing. And then I'll go in with my white buffing block and I will buff them so that they are nice and smooth. And next I'm going in with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol, and I'm just wiping the dust off of the top, and I'm also going underneath and cleansing out the bottom because I want them to look very, very clear. And then I'm going to go in with one of my favorite stamping plates from eBay, and I'm going to add some white snowflakes onto the ring fingers. Alright guys, so finally we are getting to the icicle part. So what I'm using here is an IBD clear builder gel, and I'm just painting on a thin layer underneath the middle fingers, and I'm also going to be doing the pinky nail and the thumbnail. So I did actually originally try to just use top coat. I wanted to use a tack-free top coat, but the top coat is too thin to actually create the crinkles in the nail with the cellophane. So I've just got some little pieces of cellophane or saran wrap, as you can call it, and I'm just placing that underneath the nail, and then I'm using my cuticle pusher, the one with the pointy end, and I'm just using it to kind of crinkle up that saran wrap and make sort of the cracked ice look. And then I'm going to get her to stick her hand in upside down in the lamp, and we're going to cure for a full 60 seconds, and then I'm going to peel off that saran wrap. So once I peeled off the saran wrap, I did go back in with my hand file because there were some little edges of the IBD gel that had kind of seeped out, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was smooth and there was no little edges poking out. There was quite a big one on that pinky there, so I just went in, like I said, with my hand file and smoothed everything out, and then we're going to get ready for top coat. So when I top coated these nails, I actually top coated on top of all of the nails, obviously, and then the ones that did not have the cracked ice look, I did actually top coat on the bottom underside of those as well, just to make sure that they were super clear. Alright guys, thanks again for hanging out with me during another Watch Me Work video. I absolutely love how these turned out. They are such perfect winter nails. Those cracked glass nails are amazing. You guys absolutely have to try that technique. Now of course, they are a little bit rough on the underside and you do have to make sure to wipe off that dispersion layer from the builder gel underneath, otherwise they will be a little bit sticky and you don't want that for your client. But she is obsessed with them and so am I. She actually sent me a little video from her little girl that was like, Auntie Jen, I love Mommy's nails. It was so cute. I loved it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with someone else. Don't forget to leave any questions or comments that you have in the comment section below. And as always, guys, have an amazing day.